Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Rodriguez. I'm with Signify Lighting. I'm the sales specialist for the Northeast. You might know us better by our brand, Philips Lighting. So we're a market leader in TLEDs, LED lamps, retrofit kits for troffers. But today we're going to be discussing our control solution in the marketplace, our wireless control solution, Interact Scalable. It's a solution that goes with our TLED portfolio in addition to our retrofit kits. So some of you may be familiar with SpaceWise, which was our control system in the marketplace over the last 7 or 8 years. The Interact Scalable is an evolution of that technology. So the way it works is sensors that are integral to the fixtures or to the retrofit kits, and it's
Hold that
commissioned.
up a little bit longer. We just got a
Oh,
little tiny
sorry.
peek at it.
No, it's a sensor that does daylight harvesting and occupancy detection, and has a wireless communication via Zigbee protocol. So the way that works is you would group retrofit kits and lamps as well. So we have a smart TLED that has the same capabilities. You would group those lamps and those retrofit kits together through a Bluetooth phone app that's very intuitive and easy to use. It's something that an end user can use. It's something that you guys can use, a contractor in the field. Also, it can be paired with switches in the room as well. So we have kinetic dimmer switches that require no battery, no wiring. They just work off kinetic energy. And we also have a scene selector as well. So we'll there. So scene selector where you have on, off, and 2 custom scenes. Now with the TLEDs, since those aren't with occupancy sensors built into them, they just have the radio capability. We have ceiling sensors that can be paired with those TLEDs. So Interact Foundation is the base level of that. There's no external communication. It's grouping through a phone app. In those groups, the lights come on and off together. You can set timeouts. You can also high-end trim. So you can adjust those light levels in the space. So very quick payback, very affordable. It's rebate eligible and also meets current codes. Now with just the addition of a gateway, so 1 gateway per every 150 light points. And with that gateway, you're just providing an Ethernet drop and power. And it's simple. You just scan the barcode that's on that gateway through your phone app, and you can apply it to a network of fixtures. Once you do that, you get access to the cloud software. So a facility manager from anywhere in the world can access that cloud software and can do things like scheduling, demand response if the utility is requiring that for incentive purposes or for code. Also, you could energy reporting. You could look at a live energy dashboard where you can see live energy usage, or you can print out reports based on a certain time frame. So if you have a contractor partner that needs to validate the energy savings of that energy retrofit, it's an easy solution to be able just to add in this gateway and be able to print out reports and validate the savings of that project. So very simple with the components, an easy, a true scalable solution where you can start off with that foundation level. That's just the standalone retrofit kits, lamps with no external communication. And you can easily add in this gateway a year later if a customer's needs change. And with that software, there's no annual cost. So they don't have an extra annual fee that they have to worry about to access that software down the road. There is no annual cost to that. Now, there's a third level of the solution as well. So the first was Interact Foundation. When you have the gateway, you move to Interact Advanced. And then we have our Interact Enterprise. So Enterprise is a smart building level solution. So it's about taking the information that those sensors, that those light sensors are collecting, and applying that and using that to make other spaces in the building more efficient. So things like wayfinding, Outlook integration, heat mapping, BMS integration. So there's a network of apps that we're going to continue to build upon. Things like asset tracking. So you could track wheelchairs throughout a hospital building, or adding in sensors like people counter sensors. So you can see how many people are in a certain space, and if that space may need to be cleaned, or maybe there's no one in that space and the facility doesn't have to go and send janitorial staff in to clean that space. So Interact scalable. It's truly a scalable solution. And the 3 tiers are that foundation level, which is really standalone, quick paybacks, advanced, which is that addition to that gateway. And from a incentive standpoint, it moves from a tier 2 to a tier 3 when you add in that gateway. So easy capabilities to move up to get those new capabilities. And then the 3rd tier isn't so much a energy play or really a quick payback play. It's really looking at the cost that a building has and looking at costs that a corporation might have, a company might have, property management might have, and seeing that it's really not the energy cost, it's really the cost of the real estate and the cost of the employees. So adding and making, giving them tools to make their space and making their employees more efficient. Now with this system, there is a advanced feature that we offer called granular dimming. So if you think of current times with current office buildings, there's with COVID, a lot of them are sparsely populated. But if you walk into an office building, all the lights are going to be on and there may just be 1 or 2 occupants on a floor. So we have a feature called granular dimming. And what that does is it allows for lights to come on in groups. So you walk into a space and the lights come on, but they come on to a lower light level setting. So in this case, we can say 20%. As that occupant walks through the space, that group of lights remains 20%. As they sit down at their individual workstation, those lights that see the occupant will ramp up to full power. The other lights in the group stay on, so it provides comfort, but you get an extra energy savings by having the lights where there's no occupant directly underneath them working at a lower light level setting. So in this case, we can say the high level is 100% and that low level is 20%. So you really get to 80% savings for with individual fixtures where an occupant is not sitting. So that's granular dimming, and that's a feature we've offered with our older system that a lot of ESCO contractors, a lot of end users found very beneficial, and it's a unique feature to our offering. So, and I mentioned TLEDs too. So with our portfolio, it's TLEDs, retrofit kits, and I don't think there's another solution in the marketplace that offers TLEDs and kits together as a part of that solution. So with the TLEDs, you can just group those with fixtures or retrofit kits with the sensors integral, or you can pair those with a ceiling occupancy sensor. So we have a couple of different options with that, but very easy from the commissioning side. It's all done through a Bluetooth phone app. So anyone who's used a pure Bluetooth system in the past might have experienced some programming headaches, because when you hit find devices with a Bluetooth system, it finds all Bluetooth devices in that proximity. So some of those devices could be in a different room. They could be at a site. So with a Bluetooth system, typically you have to, it loads up a number and you have to figure out where that number is located and then be able to group fixtures from there. With this Interact solution, we're offering a hybrid approach. So a lot of our customers in the past have found our commission to be very easy because we've used IR. So we're introducing an IR remote as well with this system. It's just a 2-button add to group remote. So it saves your contractor time in the field, saves you guys time in the field from a commission standpoint, reduces headaches, reduces costs. With these systems and solutions, if a contractor goes out in the field and he struggles to commission, or he has to waste a lot of time out in the field or gets complaints from his customer, he's not going to want to use this type of solution again. So we think from a commissioning standpoint, the hybrid approach where you can use Bluetooth and have access to any iOS or Android phone, and then having that IR remote to pair with it, it's best of both worlds, where you have the compatibility, you don't have compatibility issues, but you also can save a lot of time commissioning in the field.
30 seconds.
Yes. Any questions there?
I actually do have a question if you have the time. That little guy that you held up right in the beginning, is that the device that will attach to like a retrofit? Like that's the relay right there? So
this is the retrofit uses our SR driver, which is a wireless dolly driver, and this sensor pairs up to that. So this would be built into the fixture and the communications from that sensor.
Okay.
Well, today I'm with Panduit. I'm going to talk to you guys about the VeriSafe absence of voltage tester, quick reminder, don't forget to pin me on your video.
Thank you.
So I'm going to be showing you guys the demo unit, and I'm going to be showing you guys the product as well. So you definitely want to see that as I'm talking to this product. So I'm going to show you guys an uninstalled product of the VeriSafe here at the desk, and then I'm going to switch over to my demo unit that's right next to me. So what the VeriSafe is it's a permanently mounted absence of voltage tester. And what this product does is it replaces your traditional live dead live test that you would do with a portable meter on your electrical equipment. It's composed of three main components. So the first component is your indicator module. This is going to be mounted on the outside of your panel. It's going to have all your LEDs to show you exactly what's going on inside of that panel where it's connected. It's going to have a button for you to press the test. And it's also going to have your battery tray, which powers that test when your actual incoming mains power is off. So it's going to have all of that there. I'll show you the battery once it's installed on my demo unit. The second component is your system cable, and it's kind of hard to show here because it's an 8-foot system cable, but this is what's going to connect you from your indicator module to your isolation module or your brains of the AVT. This isolation module is the functional safety rated portion of this product. It's got redundant circuitry and it's fail safe. So you'd have to have two separate failures occur for this to give you a false indication. And in layman's terms, you could press this button for 1,000 years and you never get a failure based off of our calculations with our functional safety certification. This indicator module or isolation module has a long set of sensor leads. This is what gets installed to your 3-phase or wherever you're installing this. It has 2 sensor leads per phase to verify connectivity, which I'll show in the demo unit here as well. And then the final thing this has is it has a set of output contacts right here. These green output contacts is part of the functional safety system. They're normally open and they will close when you verify absence of voltage and get the green LED. And I'll show you a really cool use case in my demo unit here. So I'm going to transition my video over now that I've shown you guys the components and let you guys see what I'm going to present here. So this is our demo unit. I'm going to turn it on for you right here. Wanted to give you guys an overview of what exactly is on this demo unit. And then I'm going to zoom in on this indicator module to make sure you guys can see exactly what's going on when I'm changing some of this stuff. So this is simulating a 3-phase application. Obviously, I'm connected to a wall, 120 volt AC, but we have it wired up in a way that would show a typical 480 volt AC application. So you can see my indicator module here. If I take this cap off, my battery is right there. So that's what's going to be running my absence of voltage test. And then I also have some switches over here. When I flip these switches, it's turning the phase lights off. So it would either represent a phase loss, or if you were to become disconnected for whatever reason, you would be able to see that with those red LEDs on the indicator module. And then I'm using my Panduit insulation piercing connectors to connect to my 3 phases. That's where the VeriSafe is installed, and you can see the isolation module here. That can be mounted surface mounted or DIN rail mounted as well. And then finally, I've got this green fan. And when I zoom in, you'll still be able to kind of see the glow of the green fan. That's going to be really important when I throw my disconnect here on the side. When you see those red LEDs coming out, go off, that green fan is all it's doing is inducing a capacitance into our system to simulate a DC voltage like a motor or capacitor bank powering down in your system. And then finally, I have my access control kit up here by Panduit. This is an electronic lock that right now, if I were to undo this, I can't get into this panel. It's locking my panel and will remain locked until I get absence of voltage. And you'll see that when I run this test here in a minute. So I'm going to flip around this real quick and I'm going to zoom in so we can see exactly what's going on when I run in this test here. So what I can show you guys, this is the 3 main components of this indicator module. You've got your red LEDs, L1, L2, L3. That's signifying 3-phase presence of voltage. I've got a test button here, and that test button, when I press it, illuminates that yellow triangle, and that's showing that the test is in progress and it's walking through a series of steps that's laid out in the NFPA 70E, which is the best practice standard for portable absence of voltage testing. And in the 2018 edition, they added permanently mounted absence of voltage testers as an approved alternative to your portable process. So this is in the standard, this product is in the standard, this technology is in the standard, really redefining how absence of voltage testing is being done on equipment. And then finally, this outer halo here is our green LED. So when we get absence of voltage, that green LED will illuminate, letting the customer know or the operator know that it is now safe to enter that panel and perform their work. So I'm going to flip these switches just so you guys can see when I lose a phase, those red LEDs do no longer become illuminated. And now I'm going to throw my disconnect and turn the AC power off in this system. And you'll notice that the red LEDs go out, but this is not enough to prove absence of voltage. I'm going to run this test. If you remember, I did it too quickly. Hang on one second. I'm going to repower it up here because I waited too long. So if you notice I'm going to scoot this to the side. See that, that green fan? Before that fan stops spinning, I'm going to run this test. And notice I'm not going to get the green LED. And that's because that fan was still spinning and inducing a DC voltage. So even though I turn off the AC voltage, if there's still DC voltage present from a capacitor bank or something powering into that system, powering down inside that system, the VeriSafe is going to pick that up and let you know that there is still voltage present. And you might ask, what voltage is the cutoff? And per UL 1436, which is the standard for this type of technology, that's 3 volts AC or DC. So once we are under 3 volts AC or DC, you're going to be able to run that test and get the green absence of voltage verification. Once I get that green LED, I know it is safe to enter. The one thing you might ask is what's going on when that yellow triangle is blinking? And really what's going on is the same exact thing that you would be doing with a portable tester. So you checking phase to phase, phase to ground, checking a known voltage source. It's checking continuity to make sure it's connected where it's supposed to be connected. And then it's also checking itself, checking its own circuitry to make sure everything is functioning correctly. And it does that twice. And you notice how quickly it does it in about 10 seconds. So compare that to your traditional process where you're trying to gather PPE up, you're figuring out what you need, you're getting your portable meter, you're trying to find a voltage source to test your meter, and then you're going in here and opening that door and performing work. Not only does it take a lot longer, you're also exposing yourself to unnecessary hazards by doing that test after you've opened that door and potentially exposed yourself to hazards. So it's taking a lot of that human factor out of it, and it's taking a lot of that labor-intensive work that you'd have to do for this absence of voltage test. The one thing I want to show you guys is what that continuity check does. So I flipped the switch down here at the bottom where I showed you those little toggle switches, and basically simulating essentially becoming disconnected. So I'm going to run that same test again. I know we just got the green LED. This time, it's not giving me the green LED. It's going to give me a flash code instead for 4 flashes. And those 4 flashes is telling me I can't verify connectivity inside of my, my system where I'm installed. So it has the intelligence to let you know exactly what's going on, whether it's higher voltages above 3 volts, firmware or hardware failure, and or connectivity issues. And the last thing I want to show you guys as we're wrapping up here is our access control. So I showed you guys that latch. I'm going to run this test again. I removed my mechanical latch, and this time you're going to notice when I get the green LED that the door is going to open on its own. So it's really another level of safety and security when you're going to think about installing this in your electrical equipment. So that's the VeriSafe absence of voltage tester. Feel free to reach out to Panduit or the Synergy team if you have further questions on how this is can be adopted in your plants and environments.
Tom O'Neill, I'm sure a lot of you know me. I used to be with Ideal Industries. I'm now supporting Synergy on their endeavor with Ideal. But what I want to talk to you today about is our new Twister Pro family of wire connectors, okay? We've come out with a brand new orange-blue connector which we're really proud of. You'll start seeing it on the shelves now. This little connector does 2 number 22s to 4 number 12s. That's the widest range of any orange blue wire connector in the industry, okay? It's rated at 600 volts, okay? It's got the flexible skirt on it on the bottom, so if you're getting into tight spots, you can bend it and get it in. It comes in boxes, it comes in the jars, and it also comes in large barrel for large jobs. So the orange blue wire connector, and it also has little rubber swept wings for comfort. So if you're tightening these down all day long, there's no ridges on it or anything. It's just got a nice rubber swept wing for comfort, okay? The next connector I want to talk to you about is our red tan wire connector. This connector here does 2 number 18s to 4 number 10s. Once again, widest range in the industry. There's no red tan wire connector that has a larger range. It also is rated at 600 volts. As you know, a lot of my competitors, some of the off brands, they only have a rating of 300 volts. So you want to be aware of that. So 600 volt rating. And again, this comes in the boxes and it comes in the jars and also available in large quantity barrels. Okay. But again, this one, if you look closely, the tan is just a nice rubber swept wing. So you can really grip down on that and make a great connection. They also, all of these connectors have an expanding square spring on the inside. So all that does is grab the wires and bring it right up inside the wire connector. Really nice connections. And then my favorite connector right now is our red yellow wire connector with the flexible skirt. It also has that over molded swept wing for comfort. Really nice connector. This one does 2 18s to 4 number 10s. Widest range in the industry. That's right. It also is rated for 1,000 volts instead of the 600. So this one has 1,000 volt rating on it, which is just a little extra protection for you. It comes in boxes, it comes in bags, it comes in jars, and it comes in barrels. But the real key is the flexible skirt here for getting into tight spaces, the swept wing, and the expanded square spring on the inside. These are our new family of Twister Pro wire connectors, and we're very, very proud of them. We also have available our sample packs. So you contact your Synergy representative to get sample packs to hand out to your customers. Or if you're a customer and you need some samples, we're more than happy to get you the samples because we know you want to try them before you use them. And we also have a beautiful wire connector brochure that goes through the whole family of ideal wire connectors, the push-in connectors, all of our different connectors. So that's also available. The next thing I want to show you today, guys, is our Sure Test circuit tracer. Okay, this is for tracing wires underground. This is for tracing wires back to the panel for the breakers. You can do it for finding fuses, opens, shorts. There's all kinds of different features that you can use with this with the circuit tracer. A couple of nice features that we have is, one, it's got a very bright OLED screen, and it also has a rotating display. Only one on the market that has a rotating display, okay? Another real nice feature for this is it's not just one level of sensitivity. We got 4 levels of sensitivity with this. So if you're real close to your panel box and you're trying to find a breaker, you want to put this on this lowest level of sensitivity so you're not sending a large signal into that panel where you'd have bleed through and you'd have trouble finding your breaker. However, if you're trying to find a wire underground, you may want to have it on your highest level of sensitivity so that you can find it. Which brings me to another little thing. We also have available is a cradle where you can put it on, hook it onto like a paint stick or something. If you're trying to find something up in the ceiling, you can find it. If you're trying to find something down underground, you can use it without bending over for hours at a time. But really nice. So you got the super bright OLED, you got the rotating display. It also has a low battery indicator, which is important. I always tell my customers, if you're going to store your circuit tracer, take the battery out so it doesn't sit in there and get corroded or anything like that. Another question I get, can it do energized or de-energized units? We'll handle both ways. It's if it's energized, we can still work with it. If it's de-energized, you can still work with it. Okay. Another nice feature for this is the inductive clamp. Okay. So we have 3 different kits: the 61 955, the 957, and the 959. I have a tendency to sell the 959 because it comes with this inductive clamp with a big battery pack. Okay. So you can, let's say you're in a parking lot and you're working on a street light. You can open the base of that street light up, clamp on the wire, and trace that wire back to the building. So a real nice feature. Lots of times guys will try and cheap out and go with this, the cheaper unit, but they always want to come back and get this clamp. So I like to sell the clamp right off the bat. So that's our circuit tracer. Let's see my time left. Yeah, I got some time left. So the next thing I want to show you is one of my favorite kits to show. It's our TKO hole cutting kit. Okay, these are great. This is the master electrician's kit. This one goes from 7/8 up to 2.5-inch hole. Okay, but what's nice is not only does it have the carbide tip cutter, it also has a nice flange on here. So if you're, punching in through a box or something, you don't go all the way through and do any damage to your breakers or hit some live wires or anything like that. It also has a smooth start pilot bit, which grips real nice, and it also has a spring to pop out the slug. These make beautiful holes, and there's no debris on the inside. A really nice hole. We're basically selling against the knockout kit for this. So basically, we say I can make a hole in about 30 seconds. You're still working on your pilot hole to get your draw stud through on the knockout kit. So 30 seconds versus about 6 minutes. So it's a real time saver too, and it does a beautiful job. So our TKO kit, we also have nice literature sheets on that available, and so contact your Synergy guys for that too. And then the last thing I want to show you is, and this is again, this is one of my favorite little. I'm a kit man, you can see that, but kits take care of your tools a lot better because you're putting them away and they're protected, as opposed to like throwing a nice titanium step bit into your bag and getting all chipped up and stuff. So these are titanium coated M35 carbon steel with a titanium coating on it. Self-starting point, but instead of the old style where you have 2 flutes, this has got a spiral flute. So you're constantly cutting and removing the chips from your job. So it gets rid of the material better, and it cuts through. This will cut through brass, carbon steel, cast iron, and stainless steel. And the real key is a lot of the guys that are using these, they like the fact that they cut through stainless steel. So you got the and it also has a 1/4-inch shaft. So a lot of your impact drills and that kind of thing, it has the 1/4-inch shaft. The other key is we sell all of these bits separately. So lots of times people will use like one bit a lot more than the other bit. So you have the full kit, the full variety of holes, but you might want to use one more than the other ones. You can just replace the single bit, okay? So, and then we also have beautiful literature sheets on this, okay? Ask your Synergy representative to get that for you. And I also want to make sure everybody knows we have a new catalog out.